I got a chance.
Opportunity, promotion, blah, blah. You know, those are just words.
Words. All I have to offer is words. Just words.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
What it do, my beautiful people? Yeah, every time like that little bit of music comes in, I gotta like get mad excited and hyped. Because let me sound like a real podcaster. As always, man, it's beautiful to be blessed by y'all presence, man. It's just great. Love y'all. This is actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, this is the second all guys full cast.
It is, that's right.
Yeah. The other time it was like, that won't be had. I think Ryan and D or somebody, but I think, or this either might be the second or the first.
Oh, wow.
But no matter what, what's up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're making history today.
We on deck. If you didn't know, you should know. You should know by now. My brother, my main man, Monsieur Los.
Monsieur Los.
Yeah. Nobody really knows, but if you didn't know, this is Monsieur Los here. Comment ça va? Comment ça va, crew? What's up? What's up?
How you feeling today, baby?
I feel amazing. This is great. Beautiful day today. It's incredible. You know, it's good to be with you guys here. And yeah, let's do this.
I'm glad. Yo, because you walked in, you're like, yo, tengo una resaca del diablo.
Had a long night last night.
It was rough. It was really rough.
That was a long night last night.
I'm like, boy.
But it's about that time. I feel good now.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I think we got to start filming like around 3 because like 1:32, I think it's still people's like recovery time.
Yeah.
Shit is still like a little foggy.
I popped that Advil. I had one brewski to wash it
nothing
down.
A patelito and a beer.
Oh, the patelito
helps.
That patelito hold me down. I
That's
appreciate that, brother.
No, of course.
Yo, the greasier the bag is, the better it'll. I don't even eat this shit, but that's like,
it's true. I had to run over here before the bag break. That's how that shit goes. You gotta hurry the fuck up. Patelito's about to fall all over the streets, man.
It's holding on by threads.
So you know how that goes.
That's just wild, man. Today we got a second. I mean, you know, you came around 2 times now, but now
2 times
you're gonna be our new co-host replacement because we're going. My man Monsieur Los gonna go off and do bigger and better things.
That's how he rolls.
And now my man. What we gonna call you? Yo, we haven't even thought about a name for you, man. What's gonna be your name?
You know what?
Let's call you Monsieur Dre.
I'm gonna go with Dre for now. And until we see the flow how it goes, we'll bring something.
We got my main man, my brother, Drizzo Dre. No, I'm just fucking. We got Dre in the house.
I'm happy to be here, happy to be part of the team. And ready to make history, man. You know, shout out to I got big shoes to fill. Man,
I got
big shoes to fill.
I'm a size 15.
Damn, damn,
you got big shoes.
Damn.
I'm just talking about pressure,
I'm
bro.
just
putting it out there.
Yo, bro, you must get places fast, bro.
Don't worry about it.
15.
I be getting way too fast. I'm constantly getting tickets at home every week.
Yeah. Today we got a special guest. This is the second visit to the Just Words crew. Matter of fact, I've been meaning to ask you. I think we got to have you come through quarterly. That way, you give our listeners a new update on what's happening in the world of tomorrow, in the world of today, and the world of the never understanding politics.
Drop some knowledge here and there.
Because the last time you came, you made things relatively seamless and straightforward for me to introduce initiative to take certain actions in my community. And I just want you to know that your words did instill that motivation for me to go and try that shit.
Wait, words mattered?
Yeah. So we got my brother, my main man from the Daily Planet on deck, Clark Kent.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, you called me and I was like, hey, man, did you call me or was that a butt dial? I don't even know if people still butt dial, but
They do.
It happens.
I get it all the time after midnight. I'm like, what?
Sure those are butt dials?
Yeah, and I'm your host, Ron Kane. I just realized that every time I introduce everybody, I never introduce myself. So I think I'm gonna start introducing myself.
Yeah. The people should know. The people should know.
El tigre que está ahí.
I think you have to introduce yourself first before we start.
Is that the way it works?
Yeah,
I'm still getting used to this shit.
Yeah.
The last time you came, your advice was relatively simple. If you're not participating at in regards to the politics, like you don't care if it's voting or not or whatever, you're like, if you're not participating, then your opinion really doesn't matter. And it was a very straightforward and meaningful approach, because I'm like, you know what, you're right, no puedo estar hablando mierda if I'm not out there, if I'm not doing anything. And then I introduced objections that I think typically people would come across. I was like, yo, I don't know when any of these things are happening. And you're like, well, actually, you got to be the one to be reaching out. And I was like, you know what, you're right. So then I went as far as finding out who my local council person is. And it's Carmen de la Rosa currently. Then who's my local assemblyman, Manny de los Santos. And there's the other one, Al Taylor. I forget what, how these district lines. But then you start learning all these kind of things. And my goal has now become much more nuclear and simple on a micro level, because once you start talking to people, you realize that there's just so many fucking topics people want to tackle. And my thing was just getting people in the room now, because I attended the first town hall meeting that Carmen de la Rosa has had. She's been in office 10 months. Manny's 7 months. So everybody's pretty brand new to this game.
They're still catching up.
So this is their first town hall meeting. The thing is that I found out, what was disappointing to me was I found out literally the day before at noon. And I'm on their email list. That's how I found out. Then Carmen is really proactive. She reached out to me directly on social media, because I put it on my story. I was like, yo, I don't know how they're expecting people to show up, but I'm letting y'all know. I'm letting my followers know. And I reached out to Uptown Collective. My man has like 30,000 followers. They're all from the Heights. He was beautiful enough to repost my stuff. And we spoke, and he's also going to make sure that we stay in contact and take that initiative to amplify this awareness. Because the reality is, what I came to know and learn is that people just don't know these things are taking place. And that's one of the challenges. So since we last met, what I'm trying to say is, now I'm going to be working with, collaborating with Uptown Collective, that's their Instagram, and the We Run crew. We Run Uptown crew. So it's a group, an organization that meets up weekly in front of Locksmith, I think Mondays at 7:15, and they all just run in the Heights. And they have like 30,000 followers too. And I spoke to them, and they're like, yo, we don't know about these events. Nobody's telling us. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do the due diligence to find out when these events are taking place. I just need y'all to amplify it. And they say, fuck it, we on.
Somebody has to put that information out there.
And so, because the narrative that I've been coming across a lot lately on the political side has been, oh, the young people don't want to show up. The young people don't vote. All this kind of stuff. And I'm like, nah, that's not true. I talk to a lot of, my people in the hood, and they're like, nigga, we just don't know. You know what I'm saying? And so, talking to Manny, they're like, oh, but we pass out flyers, we do this. I'm like, yo, pero ¿quién hace eso todavía? Who's still doing that? So these marketing tactics of 1998 and shit, when Giuliani was around, and
they don't get it. They still don't get it. I mean, they're not connected to the youth where they could put it to social media, which that's the key. Obviously,
well, that's how AOC made her whole brand, basically. She was the first one to go like, well, I have 30,000 followers, let me talk to them online, as opposed to just trying to go door to door, because if you get the same people, you're going to get the same abuelita who...
Exactly. And so, that's the thing. You go to... So I went to this town hall meeting. It was packed. They claimed to have 200 people. I don't know.
I saw it was a good crowd.
It was a good crowd, but it was nothing but older, people of color. And when I say older, they're at least at the end of their buying cycle. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're not modern day customers. Yeah. and then nothing but the people that live in Pinehurst. If you're not from Washington Heights, you should be aware that Pinehurst is predominantly just white. Yeah. And so you got white old people or white young people, and then old Dominicans.
I used to live in Pinehurst, by the way. I just want to say.
Shout out to Pinehurst. Shout out to
Pinehurst. I lived out there for 8 years. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
Good living.
Yeah.
Good living. Then you came to the hood.
Gotta switch it up.
Rent got too high.
Yeah. Oh, they gotta get you.
That'll bring you back. That'll bring you back to the.
But my point being, you know, that's my update to you from the last conversation we had, and how meaningful and impactful it was what you just shared with me. Because I was like, you know what, you're right. I cannot continue to complain, and if I'm not being taken in, if I'm not being an active participant. So it is an injustice of me to have this platform and fucking complain and bitch and not actually go out there and try to meet and greet people. So I want to thank you and shout out my brother for motivating me
shout
to
out
take
Clark
that step.
Kent, my man Clark Kent.
So we all know now that like in 4 years when Ron runs, no one's in shock, right?
I've been pushing this.
Shout out to you though for taking initiative and
I've
going
been
over
pushing
there
this
and all
man
that.
to run. We were in Dominican Republic, and I said to him, we sat down, we're smoking a cigar. I said, bro, if you run for office, you have my full Monsieur Los support. I was like, yo, and he knows when I put money, if I say I'm going to put money, I'm going to do whatever I can, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I said, you got to run because it's a must. I mean, he's so involved and he cares so much about the neighborhood, the community. I was like, you got to get involved one way or another.
How you feel about that though?
I think we can have that conversation, as you said, maybe 4 or 5 years from now, because I need to understand and get the lay of the land. Right now, my understanding of this whole situation, it is perpetually a systemic cycle where the people that do take office, and especially in these lower positions, I think they got to run yearly, right?
You got to run. So depending on wow, this is actually going to be funny. So this year you got. The generals are coming up in November, so a few weeks from now, though. So you have Congress every 2 years. Sorry, thanks. You got.
So when you say generals, talk to me like, you know.
So you have to run in your primary, which in New York is really where you determine who's going to be the next congressperson. So you have a primary election, then you have the general election, which is just the especially in the city, unless you're in a contested seat, it tends to be the coronation ceremony. But, I mean, though, it's every 2 years, pretty much, though. And this year, it's a very weird year because they're doing redistricting on the council level.
Okay.
So that means that your council person who just got into office 10 months ago has to run again starting right after Election Day because they're going to be running for office again next year.
So that's what happens, right? Like now they're brand new, 10 months in, and now they're trying to get their footing. But then in November, they're going to have to start running again.
over, yeah.
So it's fundraising, it's bullshitting, and all that kind of stuff. So there's no actual doing.
No actual work.
And I go to these town hall meetings. No one discusses quotas, benchmarks, plan of action guidelines of what we're trying to hit or when. Everything is a promise. Yo, I was 2 hours sitting there listening to people complain, and the most we got out of it was you might get more trash cans in your streets.
Wow.
Well, that's the mayor's big thing now.
Now, I'm saying the trash cans are going out. Who the hell's picking them up?
And so then what you learn, right, because what the community really wanted to talk about was the syringe litter. And so apparently now you learn how the Department of Sanitation, the New York City Department of Sanitation, basically works with, just collecting the trash on the streets, right? But the trash cans. Then, like, if there's a park, then that goes into New York City parks. Okay. And so when they're like the syringe litter, but it's happening in the parks. And then Commissioner Tish from the sanitation department was there. She was quick to pass the baton. She was like, yo, that's a New York City parks issue. And matter of fact, it's not even a New York City parks issue. Then it goes into its New York City healthcare issue. But then New York City healthcare tells you, call 311. Then you call 311. 311's like, NYPD. And then NYPD is like, no, bro. And I'm like,
all these numbers. Call this, call that, call this, call that.
Yeah, and all I want to do is not fucking step on a fucking needle, bro.
That is insane.
And so you're there, and bang, nobody gives you the answer for that. Then people are screaming, then the blah, blah, blah. And then Adriano Espaillat, how do I pronounce the name? Espaillat comes through, and he starts getting the people riled up because he's running against nobody again.
Wow.
Well, he had a primary this year. I forgot against who.
But that's the thing, nobody.
So why is he running?
Yeah, yo, bro, no, he runs every time. But I looked up the ballot, his profile isn't even updated. His picture ain't even there. Like, it's just
cool.
He's like, I got this job, bro. Nobody fucking with me.
He's running against el primo. El primo.
And so the dude viene y comienza, talking all that Dominican Spanish, and all the old people get riled up. And he's like, si se puede, and blah, 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 and all this other shit. Obviously, I'm, but the people get riled up. But I'm like, yo, my man, you've been in office, ¿cuántos años? Y tú no has hecho nada. How many years you been in office? He's been in office.
Because I used to, let me try to remember. I think he got in, I want to say, when was he got in the Trump cycle, actually, so 2016.
2016?
Yeah, before that he was
what was he before that?
state senator.
So state senator, my bad. So I don't know what,
Yeah.
And so more of the story is what I'm trying to share is that now that I'm trying to understand the jobs that these people have that require them to meet no expectations, and they just there, and then they go around, shake little babies' hands, and chill with the kids.
Of course.
Because you're talking to these little niggas, they can't vote.
Yeah.
But it's just there for
It looks
photo
good.
op.
It looks good.
Beautiful.
It
It looks
looks
beautiful.
good. It's good.
And so that's all taking place. But then when they're talking to the real people, they're like, "Oh yeah, let me pass you off to my assistant. We'll get your information and we'll follow up with you." Yeah, bro. Nobody follows up.
Yeah, no, never. What are some of the complaints that the people was having that you think could be an easy fix?
So that's a great question. What I did know, so the two things were, they were surveying where they're gonna put these new trash cans. But we still don't know what date.
So what happened to the old joints?
No, it's just that we need more.
So the
we
problem
need
is that
more.
we've been having, the New York City rat problem.
It's
That's
crazy.
been some,
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
So, though back in the 70s, actually, they used to have steel trash cans. They went out of style because the plastics were cheaper, but now the rats are eating through them.
Oh wow.
So they've been trying to the mayor just basically came up with a whole new thing where you can't have your trash out before a certain hour, and the landlords all just started laughing.
Like
in the building,
6 p.m.
in the building was sundown, which was whatever it was, 5:30, 6 p.m. depending on the season.
Yeah.
Now they have a strict timeline, no matter what season it is. And what is it, 7 o'clock?
Yeah, something like that.
7 p.m.
They're gonna start pickups at 8. Like they're gonna.
But of course, they don't take into consideration the logistics we have to change for managing buildings for employees. So everything, we have to change the way hours work. So we might have to have this guy who, because the trains were running slow, I have a guy working from 1 to 9. Now I have to change his shift from 3 to 11 because but now he's like, bro, how am I gonna get home?
Yeah.
And he's complaining to me. He goes, trash goes out at 7, takes me 2 hours. I still have to finish the job in the building because I have to go home. How am I going to get home? Because the trains are running so slow.
Yeah.
He goes, the M, whatever line he takes, the Z to Brooklyn. He goes, J, whatever. He goes, it's not working that late at night. So now he's like catch-22. So I'm like, fuck, what do I do?
Well, the bigger issue also with that, though, is becoming as well that it's talk about the logistics, though. The trash people still have to get there on time. So you're now going to be traveling from 7 onwards. You're still going to have the trash sitting out there for 3 hours. Doesn't take the rats that long to figure out.
He did something different, which now he gave to the union. He gave the sanitation employees an option to pick up trash during holiday season. They used to not pick up, like Columbus Day. They gave employees, they paid them double.
You can give them an incentive to do it, like a pay incentive. But the thing is that the bigger problem is going to be, though, and this is from the people who talk about
the black bags, not recycled.
Yeah. But the trash, though, the problem is that the rats can adjust to that. It's not going to get... It's not
Yo, Splinter, he's out here getting
They can work around that schedule.
You think they're not gonna figure this shit
Don't
out?
worry. They work around that schedule. That's
New York rats are different.
different.
Fuck the rats. Yo, my shit right now has been, the other day, literally right here in the back of my building, I'm sitting down and I'm editing some shit, and Lady H is chilling in the living room. And I go, babe, are people going through our trash? Because it sounds like motherfuckers is picking this up and bang, little stuff. Yo, I look out the window, 3 fat raccoons.
Yeah. Fucking rats brought their cousins over here.
Primo.
There's a lot of food over here, bro. Come over here. The fucking rats brought their fucking cousins over here.
Huge, my man, like a size of a rock, like a whole fucking human baby, man. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And then they hear me speaking about them out
they
the
look
window,
up,
and they look at me like, ¿y qué es lo que te vamos a provocar?
Este tigre, loco. Yo, shit is getting wicked.
Like what? It's a pre-feast.
Yo, they going in, but I'm like, nah, man.
Yeah.
So,
Those are the shit that you gotta watch out for.
bro,
Yeah,
they
fuck a rat.
Yo, I
Those
can
shits right there.
imagine them dudes downstairs looking up. It's like,
no, bro.
Tigre jodiendo.
They're probably like, take a photo, it'll last
No,
longer.
like, I try to like play flashlight tag with them. So then, you know, like if I put the flashlight on them, they'll bounce. They were like, nah, man, this nigga's looking out. You gave us more light.
I'm telling you, bro. Those are the type of shit you don't want. No.
But Racoons in Jersey are not like that.
No,
No, they'll get into. I mean, the squirrels will get into your trash in Jersey, though.
The squirrels are vicious, but raccoons are like, yo, they're different. They're more civilized.
oh, here's a little different.
Yeah,
They're different. No, New York is just different.
Dude, they fucking living off of syringes and hookah charcoal.
Bro.
Like,
They high out this motherfucker, bro. Like, they're not just eating; they get high with the shit in the floor, bro. So it's like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
but you know, all that stuff aside, to answer your question really quickly, two attainable goals: the trash cans, and then also something I was thinking about, one that they brought to my attention, a lot of the other people, were more street lights. Certain sidewalks have basically no light, and now with the influx of transient people that do need help, and because I am gonna try to humanize the people that I do speak about in regards to the whole addiction issue, but you have those people out in the streets, and you have people at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, walking, going to or from work, whatever, and usually it's people that are in impoverished situations, but that introduces, not having streetlights introduces opportunities for people to either get assaulted, robbed, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that was like an easy one that I think is easy, but of course they're going to present all the bureaucratic logistical issues of how long it takes to run the fucking cable.
Well, it's not the cable. We also got to get back to our fund conversation last time. Funding, alrighty, it's going to be this many streetlights have to be allocated, money has to be allocated to them. Like, all right, when can we get the city maintenance staff to come in and actually put them in? How long is it going to take to run that kind of thing? Yeah, that's usually, and also it's got to be like, well, I know this neighborhood says they need a light, though, but if there's a light across the street that's lighting up the whole block, do you guys need a second light? Like, literally right, like 2 feet from it.
So, yeah, and I think one of my initiatives I'm going to try to do with the people on the side is survey among ourselves what are the streets that are fucking dark, because there are some dark streets.
Yeah. And,
like, literally give our council people a whole PowerPoint presentation. Like, we think we need it here. Boop, boop, boop.
But Clark Kent, question for you. I mean, so what does it take for these streets to get fixed? I mean, do you need to call 311 multiple times to City Hall, or
you got? You got to be annoying. Like you got to fight for it, because you got to remember, like, while you're fighting for that, somebody in Park Slope is fighting for a new playground for their kid because their last play. Well, it's Park Slope. Let's pick. Hey, no, never mind. They have a nice playground. You can give shots
Park
to Park
Slope
Slope.
is pretty nice.
I'm thinking like you're giving someone else is fighting for like a brand new slide for their kid, because the last slide is like rickety and old, and possibly the kid falls, he's gonna get hurt.
Oh,
no lawsuits. But so all that stuff aside, that was just to update you from our last conversation. Now today's conversation is entirely different optic behind it, because now we're talking about how what we feel in, especially when we get closer to election season, how things have kind of transitioned and become, it's Monday Night Raw. Come and listen to our political statement here. and it's become more of a fucking a WWE, or I call it WWF, at a political rally, and also the way that they market and campaign it.
They're scared to death of Herschel Walker, because if Herschel Walker becomes a Republican, maybe every other young child in America of color might want to be a Republican. That's what they're trying to do. Don't let them get away with it. TeamHerschel.com. I want the biggest night for the Herschel Walker campaign to be tonight.
But not only how the politicians go about it, but how the people actually perceive it to be and go about that. And you brought up a fucking beautiful example talking about the Capitol riot.
So we were so this is actually how this conversation got started. I was telling Ron about this great show that Vice has on called Tales of the Territory. And they had Jerry the King Lawler talking about, like, his favorite matches were the ones where the crowd got so riled up. Mind you, the crowd back then didn't know it was fake. Yeah. So they were like, oh my God, like he hit him with the wrench. We're gonna riot, and like the crowd would actually have a real fucking riot going on.
Jesus.
While these guys are like,
fuck it, we going all out.
guys are like brawling over a pro wrestling match, and meanwhile the guys in the ring are like, they really don't know this is fake.
Oh wow.
But you get to that point though, where like in politics now, though, the Trump is the best example of this, where like he had the Capitol rally, and then you start talking enough, like Giuliani said, like, we're gonna have a trial by combat, and it's like,
So, let's have trial by combat.
well, I mean, though, if you don't know that, and the part of the thing is like some of these people have to work together after the rallies are over.
Yeah.
Like, granted, this is also why there's probably more tension right now in Capitol Hill, because it's like you literally worked yourself up to that. People tried to kill us.
Nah, but the way, I mean, I remember watching that shit, and I was like, pero mira, they ain't shoot nobody.
Not one person got shot.
I think our Capitol Hill's gonna get like the Capitol Hill in like in Ireland or something, or like Indonesia, when they have these like throwing chairs and they throw like a one of those, what do you call it, the
Table, the walker,
one of those steel things for
the barricade.
the barricades.
Diablo.
Well, that already happened at Capitol. That happened during the riot.
Yeah, but like on a civilized like meeting, whatever, like a union, and they're gonna be like, "Fuck you, no,
We
fuck
going
you."
all out.
Well, the problem is though that like a lot of there used to be like Ted Kennedy and John McCain, two really funny guys though, but they used to have this story where like John McCain was like, yeah, me and Ted were arguing on the floor of the Senate. Then we went behind to the cloakroom and we're both joking around going like, yeah, we had to put on the show for people so they knew we were being serious about the topic. But at the end of the day, we're going to go have dinner together. It's fine.
Yeah.
And
But
now
it's not the case anymore.
yeah, that's the problem though. Like now the case is like so many people have bought into the kayfabe of like, kayfabe for anyone who doesn't know is
Yeah, please tell me.
it's a pro wrestling term of like the storyline. So like all of a sudden it's like, I'm the good guy, Ron's the bad guy.
okay.
It's like
No, it's babyface and heel.
babyface and heel, you're right. So I'm the heel, you're the face, and all of a sudden it's like we gotta have that tension though, but it's like you go watch them later, they're like both the Denny's down the block
Yeah.
having dinner.
So it's just
Yeah.
to build up momentum. It's just to build up.
It's
It's
a
a
story.
show.
It's a show. Yeah,
See, but the
it's a
thing
show.
is that, it's crazy. As we're discussing this right now, I'm thinking every time I've thought about, you know how they speak at the Parliament in London, in England, and it's a full-on theater show. Like it's a honorable lady to the left, and they start, yeah, rabble.
Order. I must ask the honourable gentleman, order. Don't require any assistance from some junior minister. An absurd proposition. I invite the honourable gentleman to withdraw that adjective.
Yeah, and so for me, I've always considered that theater. I gave it that elevated experience, but because it's America, I'm like, yeah, WWF seems about right.
You think that helps younger people to watch politics?
It does. I mean, though, look, the problem is though that it's entertaining, it's fun to watch,
That's
but I mean,
right,
like politics become more like ESPN. If you watch CNN, I mean, the CNN under the old producer used to run it like ESPN did, where they even had a rundown of the topics every
Yeah.
to like, pardon the interruption.
Yeah.
Now, though, but thing is, it's like it also gets to that scary point though, where it's like, are you taking it too seriously? Where it's like it's you, like you don't know that like I'm gonna still have to talk to my council member after it's over when we're all working on the council together.
Yeah.
Like deals are still made. So these guys are thinking like, oh no, they really hate each other. Like, so next time I see him on down the block, like I'm gonna punch him because we have to be like, we have to hate each other. It's like, no, dude, it's not that serious. Chill. Like, I guarantee you, we can all still agree the Mets are gonna suck next year.
Whoa. That's a low blow. That's a low blow for the Mets fan. You can't.
But back to the politics in regards to, yeah, you're right. The question you just asked, does having this whole approach actually incentivize a bigger turnout and rile people up?
Well, thing is though, like if you're playing, if the person you're running against is the heel though, it makes everyone incentivized. Like we got to vote for this guy because though he's the face. My opponent's a child eater for all I know, or like he's gonna burn down the Constitution if we let him in office. it's like it does get people hyped up to vote though, but like no one ever tells them like, yo, there's an off switch to this too.
But that's what I'm saying. People are not intelligent enough to distinguish the difference between something that it's a showboating or like what do you call it, the WWE thing?
Like kayfabe.
Kayfabe. It's
New word of the
people. Kayfabe.
Last time it was nebulous, now it's kayfabe.
Yes, people don't know the difference between these things, and the intelligence is not there. People don't know how to distinguish what's what.
Well, that's a problem that I've noticed a lot more, though. Like, I was thinking about this recently when I was watching a Trump speech and an Obama speech. And Obama used to be like this professorial preacher who, like, basically talked policy to you. Mm-hmm. And then you have Trump who's, like, basically telling you, like, we got to take them all down because they're all the enemy of the people. And it's like... It's like, if you're watching this, though, and you don't know any better, you're like... Well, this guy hasn't said anything about what he wants to do. He's just getting you more riled up.
Yeah, and that's one thing I will say that I watch a whole lot of more Trump than Obama because I used to be, there's a rally tonight, like it was WWE. I wonder what he's gonna say today.
Well, that's the thing.
I swear to you, like I probably seen a couple of Obama speeches, but Trump, forget about it.
Well, I was laughing. I was watching a few days ago. I don't know if you guys have been watching this. There's this housing project they want to put in the Bronx, though. And I mean, the people out there are NIMBYs, like not in my backyard folks, who are like, no, we don't want...
y'all got that? Y'all know what the word NIMBY meant?
Not at all.
My man just said
another political
not
one.
in my backyard.
Damn.
Yo.
Shots fired, yo. Shots fired.
Like, I mean, though, so you have this group, though, that's very like, no, we don't want, like, any poor people. Really, they don't want any people of color in the neighborhood, poor people, whatever you want to use. They're like, they're going to drive down Market Valley and whatever. And it's like, but you're watching this whole like town hall take place and like they're pulling out WWE stuff. Like at one point, this guy's coming out with his wife telling stories about like how his wife's involved in this. And you're like, oh my God, like, let me get my popcorn. Like, what's going to happen next? Somebody's like getting on the mic, cutting a promo for like for next week's rally about like how it's going to be more intense.
Yeah, when I was at the town hall meeting, there was one lady that kind of went down that route. Because she was like, and we need to get the people together. And we need to do this.
She gave it with the fist.
Y lo voy a decir en español. Que tenemos que juntarnos. Y tenemos que poner la gente junta.
You know what's so funny about that whole situation? That he at that moment thought he was killing it. Not knowing that shit was going to backfire so bad.
And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
He probably walked off that stage, so his people like, I killed that shit. That shit backfired.
Well, the problem is, though, I mean, I guarantee you, though, for the people who... I mean, I talk to a lot of political consultants, though, and I tell them all the time, I'm like, yeah, you got to know your policy, you got to know your stuff, and I'm like, if you really want to learn how to talk to people, go watch a WWE show right now. Like, half the time... though I'm old school, I remember The Ultimate Warrior. Listen to what The Ultimate Warrior said. You're like, if you read that, you were like... What the hell is he talking about? Like, there's a sun rising from the ocean and all this other stuff, brother. And I'm like, but people were pumped up.
Yeah,
he could say whatever he wanted to. Or Macho Man, like always sounded constipated.
Yeah. I bet you if politicians start talking like Ric Flair all the time, there'll be a lot more voting. People will vote a lot more, bro. I'm telling you.
Yo, that shit was funny.
Woo! We're gonna get more trash cans. Woo! You're like, hell yeah! Sign me up.
He's like, you can't buy stocks like I buy stocks.
Sign me the fuck up. Hell yeah!
But I think that's also the problem, though, too. Like, people get so hyped up, they don't even hear what they're agreeing to at the time.
That too. Like, I definitely agree.
Like, you get to that point, though, where it's like, oh, well, you know, what he says, he really gets me. And it's like, do you know what he even stands for? It's like, no, but he completely, like, says everything I want to hear. And it's like, okay, great. So I'm going to use the example of what just happened in England. Like, oh, she's for like the old prime minister who lasted for about 60 days was just like, oh, I'm for tax cuts. It's like, our economy can't handle it. But I like the way she makes me feel. Then 2 weeks later, it's like, oh, she almost destroyed the economy in one day. It's like, oh.
But thinking about it, what you just said, Dre, I mean, if you would have had a politician who come out like Ric Flair, people would love that.
People would love that.
Well, they actually already are borrowing.
But he could go out and say,
Anything.
And like, I'm going to short stock this shot. Yeah. I'm going to roll it on, and I'm going to walk down the line, and I'm going to buy a Rolex afterwards.
And throw a woo. And throw a woo right after.
And people be like, wow, that dude's incredible. I'm voting for that guy.
Yeah, I think it's not even politics. It's not on what politicians are doing now. I think it's how people feel.
Well, it's not even how people feel, I think. It's actually what people can understand. It's like, I mean, though, there is a divide going further.
People are so dumb. They'll be like, he's a crook, but I like that guy.
It's the energy.
That's how dumb people are.
It's the energy.
You're so stupid.
That's how Trump got elected.
That's so stupid. He says a lot of dumb shit.
That dude is a crook, but he's the truth, though. I'm going to vote for him.
He says a lot of dumb shit, but he a gangster. He a G, yo.
Bro.
You know what he said the other day? Like, he's building all this shit, but yo, he's a gangster. He's like,
I'm going to be homeless, but I'm going to vote for that guy.
He's keeping it real. He's keeping it real.
Bro, yo, I can't believe it.
Like, I was watching a few days ago. I don't know if you guys need comedy, watch Herschel Walker debates.
And you know what's so funny? I am with many police officers, and at the same time,
Mr. Walker, excuse me, Mr. Walker. Please, out of respect, I need to let you know, Mr. Walker, you are very well aware of the rules tonight.
Yes.
And you have a prop.
Yes.
That is not allowed, sir. Yes. I ask you to put that prop away.
Well, it's not a prop. This is real.
Oh my God!
Did anyone see that?
Oh my God!
Like, he literally, I'm just like, talk about like WWE. He comes out with the fake badge, and it's like, oh my God, he brought out the fake badge. And I'm like watching everyone commentating on this, and like instead of saying like he didn't say much that was like new or like even sensible, but it's like it's almost like he hit him over the head with the wrench. He brought out the fake badge. How could he let it? How did the referee allow it?
Ron, it's outrageous. You got to see it.
No. It's wild. Like that lady that I was just telling you about. It was funny because she's going off on her rant, and then the councilwoman Carmen, she's like, and the question, please, what is it? Say shut that bitch down. Because it's a question and answer. And she's like, yo, and went off, and she's like, y la pregunta, señora.
¿Y pa' cuándo?
Yeah, that's why I gotta lie. That's why I go back to Trump, because he has to be one of the most gangsterous ones. Because when there was a reporter that asked us what he ain't like, he'd be like, quiet. He'd be like, oh my God.
But the problem is, like,
hey, quiet. I told you to be quiet. The fuck? I've never seen this before. That's why I'm telling you, it's crazy.
And then your cousin's like, yo, he's the greatest. He's the greatest. He's the best.
Yeah. But the problem is that's where we're getting. I mean, though the entertainment, like, I'm like, this is where I get like drives me crazy. It's just like, yeah, we're all entertained. It's funny as hell to watch. It makes for great SNL skits, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, what did we just pay for again? Or who are we about? Or what trouble are we getting into now?
Yeah. And so, like, then, yes, to go and to reiterate what I was sharing with you earlier about how I am trying to be a bit more proactive about this stuff. Yesterday, I attended an Assemblyman Manny De Los Santos meet and greet. And, he's like, I'm not going to make this political. And he starts giving his speech and blah, blah, blah. And he ends it with, but you do have to go out and vote Democrat. Because whether you like it or not, somebody's got to get the job. And it's better that it's us than them, because they are trying to get rid of us. I'm like, this nigga.
Politico unchin.
Oh my God.
My man gave like a whole backstory and everything. Hablando. And, I'm one with the people, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, man. And then he dropped that
Gotta drop the bomb, bro.
It's like my man comes out here and says, I'm a vegetarian, but I like a little bacon on the side.
Yes, let y'all know.
Little turkey.
Little turkey.
Yo,
fish.
It's funny, cause even
turkey ain't real meat.
When they running against each other, even the commercials be like rap battle beef videos. Like, this guy can't do this. Yeah, what did he say at the end of the commercial?
I approve this message.
Straight bashing ass commercial, and then I'll approve this message. So it is all for the show.
What? Because the commercials against Kathy Hochul have been pretty fucking like
brutal. They've been more brutal.
They've been brutal. But you gotta remember that she's a white woman, but because she's a woman, these niggas is going in.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, I mean, what you're gonna find more of, though, is like, and this is something that you can't. So, like, they can't survey for it. It's like, how many guys are just not going to vote for, or actually, most likely women aren't going to vote for her because she's a woman.
Yo, bitches be hating them bitches hard.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
They'll be entertaining because I see the YouTube and I watch it. You know, I'm looking at YouTube and the commercial pops up. And I'm like, oh, I gotta watch the whole. I don't skip it. You see that skip button? I don't hit it. I just let the whole skip ad. I see that whole ad. I'm like, ooh, wow, they went there. I mean, vicious.
But since she's taken office for Cuomo, what is your assessment of whatever she's done? Because I don't know what the fuck she's done.
I mean, though, right now, though, she's been pretty. It's been a change up that she's actually been friendly with the legislature because before that, Cuomo notoriously was a bully to everybody. Like, he would call you up in the middle of the night just to curse you out just because he felt like he wanted to give you a bad day. Talk about WWE tactics.
Wow.
It would just be like, well, I got to give you a bad day, and I got to make sure that everybody knows that I'm giving you a bad day.
Damn.
And that's so like they do. Why do we tolerate that shit? Like
because because we find it entertaining. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Like the problem is though that that we've set up the way that the public, because I never say the media because I'm like, the media reflects what you want. But
my man dropping the gem over here.
Dropping bombs.
The way we like it, though, is we like good guys. We like heels and faces, though. We love that dichotomy. So we love hearing a backstory of like, oh my God, he double-crossed them. How could he?
Yeah.
Like, we love El Bochinche. What can we say?
Yeah, exactly. We grew up with Bochinche. Facts. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Has she done anything?
I mean, she passed stricter gun laws. I mean, though, right now, you still have the right to abortion in New York, though, which that could be up for grabs. There's a lot of issues. The problem is that it's hard to run, especially as you're running as a quote-unquote incumbent, even though she just got here. It's hard to run against somebody and say, it's going to be a lot worse if it gets here, this other guy gets here, but that's where we're at right now. I mean...
Who's running against us? Lee
Zeldin.
Zeldin, not bad.
So Zeldin, backstory on him I'm never going to knock anybody for being ambitious because I know he made his whole career off his ambition. But I know former state senator who ran for Congress, is a congressman currently, and now's always had his eye in always wanted to be in the big chair and be in the governor's seat. Again, every politician wants to be in wants to always jump levels. No one wants to stay in the same spot forever, so that's where he's at right now.
Gotcha.
Very close, very tied to Trump at the hip. Trump just endorsed them very recently, full-throated. So, yeah.
Cause the way I heard about him, I think it was in the Bronx, the unfortunate situation of the bodega owner that a dude tried to rob him.
Oh yeah,
and he
stabbed him.
He stabbed him, and then he was about to get locked up for murder. And then they acquitted. And my man went to. So the dude that went through that whole situation said, "Fuck this shit, my boy," and went to DR, and he's done with this shit. My man Zeldin used him as an example. He's like, the American dream should be that you come over here and you live your life and you start your life and everything's great. It shouldn't be the other way around where you come here and you think that it's better in Dominican Republic.
Wow. That's something I think about every single day. That's so crazy to me. That somebody would leave New York City and would leave New York, would leave the United States of America to go back to the Dominican Republic because he no longer feels safe here.
And I'm like, damn, talk about shit.
Wow, damn. And I'm like, wait, he went there?
Yeah, he went there. Wow. Entonces la gente está, they get riled up. And I'm like, but he ain't wrong, though.
But underlying that message, what he ain't saying is, if you select me, I'm still going to deport you, though.
Yeah.
I will deport you.
The real underlying message under that, though, is also like, oh, by the way, though, the gun ban is going to be gone in a few... not that it... Look, New York has a big problem, though, where we get a lot of illegal guns pouring in from other states because other states don't believe in the same gun laws because it's also a market economy for them, too. It's like, well, we know New York won't sell you a gun, so come to us and we'll actually sell you whatever you want. Like, you want the bazooka? Sure, why not?
But New York is passing a new gun law, though, right?
It's right now tied up. As the podcast is recorded, gotta make sure it's timestamped. It's tied up in court though because the law is still considered technically unconstitutional because the rule was you can have a gun anywhere. The state can come up with safe zones, but they've already been challenging what the safe zone is. Granted, I I don't want to know who's packing in Times Square.
Nah, I mean,
that's like, there's already every time I think of it, I'm like, yeah, that's going to be smart. Like, everyone's carrying a piece in Times Square on the subway. It's like, there's a million people who already don't like.
Too. Yeah, come on. Yeah,
you don't like each other. You're cramped.
Yeah.
No. It's
morning time. Oh God.
I mean, the fact is that we're in such a dense part of the city. There's 8 million people here, and that's that's a problem. But not only that, but I have my issues with the NYPD, but their response time is on point for violent situations. They don't come and see my fucking junkies, but they fucking for the violent situations they show up pretty quick. So I don't think people need guns on deck. I really am against it. However, when you live in West Bubblefuck, where the police response time is 20 minutes and you got a dude in your crib or a person in your crib robbing you, then that's a different conversation.
Not only that, it's also the temp. I mean, it has conversation in people in Georgia and Tennessee where the temperament is totally different.
Yeah,
I said, New York here, it's like I tell them, I says, listen, I get pissed off sometimes walking the street. Yeah. I want to blow this motherfucker out of my way.
True.
I literally want to just. I
stop at a red light. And the light is red, and the motherfucker behind me honks before the light turns green.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get out the car and shoot him.
Absolutely,
it's on the popping.
But that's also, I mean, though, I remember, I'll never forget the story. It was, what was it, earlier this year, where the guy went off on a shooting spree in the subway.
Oh yeah.
That's a whole.
Yeah, it's just let's add. I mean, though, here's the problem. Though, it's like, all right, what's that old saying? A good guy with a gun beats a bad guy with a gun. It's like, yeah, though, but you don't know how many times the good guy's gonna miss with a gun before he hits the bad guy.
Yeah. No, he's definitely gonna take out a few people. My bad.
That would just be a bad idea, I think.
Oh yeah,
it'd be a horrible idea.
So, I mean, I'm gonna tell you straight up front. If you put a gun in my hand and I'm having a bad day, something bad's gonna happen.
You all right, Monsieur?
Yeah, like
cry for help. Do we need intervention?
What is a bad day?
No, it's what I'm telling you right now. Like we say in the art, le ploto
Because there's bad days and there's your type of bad days. Like,
bro, every first of the month when all that money goes out,
that's what you don't understand. People have that a lot, and you don't know that.
Well, that's also the issue that I think has really been going on with the crime lately. Like, you don't know what's in people's heads these days.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's true. And you see it in the subway all the time. Like, there's not a time that I go in the morning, bro. It's a bad time for a lot of people to have guns in the train because, there's a lot of attitude going on in the morning in the train, bro. Like,
you mean to tell me in the New York City subway system, no one says, good morning, bro. How are you doing?
Bro, look at everybody's face when you walk in a train in the morning. Like, it is bad. Like,
I'm fully aware of it.
It's bad. It's like a lot of people in New York is not happy, man.
Well, that's all. I mean, though, like, that's been the big. I mean, honestly, that's where I think, like, we're getting a lot of our mental health issues. Like, I don't think it's like people are just like straight up mugging anymore. I think it's just like, I'm kind of on edge already.
Yeah.
You're going a little crazy. I just dumped a ton of money to pay rent. I'm thinking about where food's gonna come from.
On a serious note, I mean, I see it all the time in a train where people get paid on a Wednesday, and I see them Friday morning with their calculator out. And no, for real, I'm standing, and I'm just being a nosy fuck, and I'm overlooking what they're doing, and I see them calculating, and it hurts me because I see people doing that, and I'm like, damn, that dude's in a tough spot. And you can see them breaking things down, breaking rent, bills, and you see them, and they put a number, turn their phone off, put their head down for a minute, go back, open the calculator again, and be like...
They're like, how does this number keep showing up negative?
And you could tell, bro, that he just got paid, and by Friday morning, he's broke.
And imagine them doing that while going to a job they hate, while having whatever family issues they have. All that shit, bro, is...
Well, not even that, though. Like, forget... I mean, all right, you don't even have a job you hate. Now you're just... You're getting let go from your job that day.
Jesus Christ.
Or you're like, or even worse, like, you might have there might be another issue that we don't even know about.
You know what I'm saying? All that shit piles up, bro.
The moral of the story is, because there's so many multifactorial layers to all of that, is that motherfuckers shouldn't have guns.
Absolutely not.
I agree. There's enough shootings already.
But I tell you all the time, I'm like, I'm stressed 90% of the time. And you're like, yo, brother, I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah, man.
I got bills.
Yeah. I got no job. I'm still waiting for it. How you think I feel every day? I'm over here waiting for a first endorsement deal. No, man.
It's already too dangerous out there.
We're wow, man, that was fucking fast. We're hitting a 50-minute mark.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, wow.
Good
Shit.
conversation.
Okay. Is there anything in particular that you wanted to bring up and discuss? Like, say, hey, be on the lookout for this, and especially coming up with the elections and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, right after election season's over, you got to start getting ready for. Though it's kind of fucked up to say, though, but we have another election coming up next year, which I'm going to guarantee you turnout's going to be low because city council, there's no one citywide, there's no statewide, so it's going to be just your council member running. And I guarantee you there's going to be at least a few seats might flip around just because, 300 votes matter.
Jesus, yeah. What spots should we be looking out for?
No, I mean, the whole city council.
The whole city council.
Because, though all the seats are up for grabs.
Oh, shit. So if I want to apply, no, I'm just like, how much do they get paid? Right? What is the salary looking like?
Because, they indeed.
Yeah. I need to look at Glass House to see what the fuck is going on over here.
Well, the other problem with that is you also got to be ready to take, just like you saw during Carmen's things, like, so what's your question?
Yo, bro. So she held it down. I give her mad props. Shout out to her. She held it down because not only was she good about that, talking to people and all that kind of stuff, but she was also good about making sure that she would say it in English and fluent Spanish, even though they had a translator with the earpieces and all that. But she knows for a fact that motherfuckers didn't listen and pick up those earpieces. No, yo sé lo que yo dicen.
Yeah.
No, you don't know. And so she was very good about it, but it ate up a lot of time, and I think they could streamline a lot of it, like make the entire process a bit more efficient. But it seems like no, they want to make it kind of complicated.
Well, it's not complicated. The other problem is that you're playing to your audience. So you have a lot of old people who are going to be there just saying. Some people are there just to say like, oh, I was there with my social club that night. So you're going to be dealing, and again, like you said, like there's just people who are not going to put on the headphones and go like, yo entendí todo eso, te apure. You understood the budgeting process? Please tell me more about it.
Yo, they had a whole thing in the background. I was like, the budget is $62 million or whatever. Not once did anybody refer to that shit. That shit estaba ahí.
Just there. Just there.
Y eso dígame.
Like literally just there. And the projector was trash. It was like one of those fucking, remember those old projectors with tú le pones, you got the light underneath and you put like the paper and then it was like trash. Like,
the slides?
Yeah.
What's up with the slides?
Like, man, because the lights are mad bright, so you can't see anything. Eso está like mad fake, and you're like,
damn.
¿Qué?
Oh man.
But whatever. My issue is, we're raising too many concerns and we're not addressing the concerns.
But that's also. I mean, what you're gonna. Doesn't matter any town or politics. You're gonna find. You ask people their opinions. They're gonna give you. Every one person's gonna give you 8 different opinions of like what they think is most important. You got to try to figure out like. You got to get a group of people to agree to 3 things.
Yeah.
Like,
beautiful. So that's the next move. Get a group of people to fucking agree to 3 attainable goals so we can see fucking results.
That's it.
And then, all right, I'm gonna figure out what are the fucking easiest things
to see if they're really gonna go through with it. Yeah, it's true though. Fuck that, it's true.
Because the sanitation commissioner came up, and that night in particular, bro. I walked, the entire hood. I walked from Nagel to my crib, and diablo, every trash can empty. Because I wanted to take pictures and be like, oh, let me take a picture para que vean que all the bullshit he was just talking. But I was like, fuck, I can't even take a picture. Because apparently, like, I'm sure they knew where they were going to be at, and they were like, mire, coño, limpien todo.
Ain't all that shit. No raccoons, no nothing.
Yo, bro. my whole corner, this whole intersection, 4 trash cans empty, vacía. And I was like, yo, you know what? Big ups. Good
I was gonna say the Racoons are now gonna be searching for Ron later today. I'm like, snitch.
So you should be fine for a couple of more weeks.
They're gonna be like, yo, we're gonna go after him now. He's the one who called it.
No, man. So that is the next fucking thing that we're gonna do, and I'm gonna. By the next quarter you come, because now we're in October, so we'll get back in February or something.
Yeah.
And even though
for state budget season, the best time of the year.
Oh, look at that! I didn't even know. Yo, you know what? You just got to give me the calendar.
Word
bro.
up at this point.
Give me the calendar so I can know what the fuck is going on. All right, so let's transition into last call for words. Everybody here knows what last call for words is. Los.
What is that? What's last word?
Los, you might not know or you might forget because, you know, I am going through, what is it we call? Emotional. that fucking, so today will be, unless you come back as a special guest whenever you want, last time on Just Words Nobody Cares, because we're going to be working on your new podcast, hopefully very soon.
Yes, indeed.
On the fucking low with Los.
On the low with Los. We have a new podcast.
I like the sound of that.
It sounds cool.
On the low with Los. That's applause to Ron Kane for the idea with that one. And we got our cooking show coming up.
And we got our travel, neighborhood travel shows for food and dining. So Diablo Está Bueno, another one.
Diablo Está Bueno.
Not esta. Diablo Está Bueno.
Diablo Está Bueno, yeah. We got a few episodes locked down, and we have, future projects coming up on that.
So more of the stories, I can't have this nigga on everything. Yeah. So I was like, yo, you know what?
I think it's like Steve Harvey at this point.
He got his own spin-off.
He got everything on this point.
I'm like, yo, bro, you know what? I think I'm gonna switch you out from his fucking Los overload, bro.
But they give me no heads up. No.
You're on your own now. Go.
I was like, yo, you know what? I think you could.
Well, this is Monsieur Los' last Just Words Nobody Cares as a co-host, unless I'm here invited as a guest host from my man Drizzy Dre.
Yes, sir. Of course.
You got big shoes to fill. Size
I know.
15.
I know. The pressure's on, bro. The pressure's on.
Size 15. So man.
So it's far from size 9. So got me sweating like a
Don't worry, Dre. We got you. We got some cotton balls. We'll throw them up. It'll be like.
But let's keep it simple. I mean, for my last call on Just Words Nobody Cares, for my New Yorkers, my women and men on the tri-state area working their asses off, keep your head up. I know it's hard sometimes to go out there, work every day, live check by check every single week. Stay positive. Keep that energy. Keep that esa vibra. Stay true to yourself and never give up. Never look at the positives.
No, always
look at the positives.
I'll say always look at the positives. Yeah.
Yo, always look at the positives. Sorry.
Always look at the positives and just keep grinding and never give up. And and don't go to the dark side. Stay at the light. Keep giving that love and that good energy and
go to Catholic churches because that's where all the bottle girls.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
Whoa.
That's what I heard.
You gotta beep that. Hold on. you brought it on my spot right now.
That's what I heard.
He sends him to the wrong church, so don't worry.
I go to Sunday church, so. But yeah, shout out to my peeps here. Thank you for everything and
Monsieur Los.
Sign off, Monsieur Los.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
My brother, my man, Clark Kent. Always with the fucking insight and breaking things down into a logical perspective. What do you got?
Don't believe the hype.
Don't believe the hype.
Damn.
Yo, my man's just dropping gems today.
Damn. That was a good one.
Don't believe the hype.
Don't believe the hype.
So what should we do to not believe the hype?
You got to read. You got to actually look underneath what the hype is.
So go through the motions, and if you really want to see,
pretty much plain and simple. Like, yeah, I can get you riled up at a rally, but does that mean that I'm actually doing what's best for you?
Well, look beyond the obvious.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Oh, it's my turn.
My brother Dre.
I'm gonna go simple. Change is good.
Change is good.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a little bit more, but I'll take it. I'll give you the bomb too. It's reinvigorating. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's not easy to continue believing in the system because I feel it is designed to fucking basically break you down and get you tired and say fuck it, nothing's gonna happen, and then you just quit. However, going out to these recent events and connecting with people that are my direct peers, it is reinvigorating. People do care. They just don't know where to look. They don't know where to go. And so I've made it my initiative, my intent, my mission to go on that micro focus level. Like, let's start simple. Let's get people in a room every month, once a month. And, whether it's a town hall meeting or meetings that I can organize to whatever degree. So that way the people that can't attend these town hall meetings, I can present to the council people in initiatives and interests that reflect our general public's interest. Because the other ones are really repetitive because they're listening from the same sides all the time. White people, old white people, and then old Dominican people that they just knock on the doors.
Yeah.
And then they're depending on the system.
Yeah.
And so, it just goes back to say that you're absolutely right. Everything you've said, and Clark, I'm talking to you. Everything you said is absolutely true. And I've been making sure that everything you shared with us has been an actionable initiative. Because sometimes we do just say the fucking words. They're just words. Nobody cares. The way I even came up with the title was influenced by Trump. Because I was like, yo, my man's just talking. He's just saying words. And I'm like, nobody cares. And like, it was literally one of the inspirations. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do the same too. But the whole purpose of this platform has been to incentivize that, if we do have an intent, we can set the initiative, set attainable goals, and pursue them. And so thank you for telling me where to start, at least, because not many people know even that much. Mm-hmm. And you told me just reach out to your council person, and I've done that. And now it's a little pebble, a little rock or whatever, but everybody tells you got to plant the seed. Before I even learned about planting the seed, I had to find the plot. And finding the plot, I got to make sure that plot gets sun, and then it gets water, and it has all the nice right seasons, and then I can plant the seed. So I'm now kind of figuring out where the plot is at to plant the seed.
Don't forget the pesticide.
And then you got bro, the fucking raccoons.
And hopefully 4 or 5 years we might be wrong.
And then 4 or 5 years we might see the little sprout.
Change is good.
But no, you know what? I will challenge you, and I will share not change. However, growth is good.
Growth is good.
Change is what you have that's left over after you break $1.
Oh, shit.
I don't want change. I want growth.
Yes.
So
there we go.
That's my
growth is what it is.
Matter of fact, and that's my motherfucking last call for words. It's always beautiful. You guys are fucking terrific. We're rocking. Thank you for coming back on again. We'll have
Happy
you
to
all
be here.
again. And what the fuck are the bombs just going off on me? My name is Ron Kane, and this is Just Words. Nobody cares, and we're signing out.